Hey everybody, here's my Can-Am Maverick Trail, and I'm going to talk to you today about the winch that I installed on my machine here. So I went with the Warn VRX 45S. I'm going to take the hood off here. And so I found the winch fits great. It fits right into the factory mounting plate that comes on the machine. You don't have to buy any extra plate. It bolts right in there. So starting the installation process, what you're going to do to get the winch installed is you're going to remove these bolts here that hold the upright bumper pieces. Take those out. You may need to heat those a little bit with a torch to get the Loctite to release, or otherwise you're going to risk stripping these out, which can be a real bear to get out if you do that. So heat them up a little bit with a torch, helps out a lot. And then there's two bolts up here that go into the radiator grill. It holds this in place. Then down below here you've got two bolts here. Again, those ones you may want to throw a little heat on to get loosened up. And then inside the frame here, right where your A-arms bolt on, you're going to see a bolt here and then one on the other side. Once you get all those bolts out, this piece will drop out of the machine. And what you're going to do is end up bolting your winch to that frame piece. As you can see, it's these bolts here are what's holding the winch. And so to get to these, I mean, you could try and wrangle that winch into this space, which is really tight, and then try to bolt those down with it, but it's just easier to take it off the machine. Once you get it bolted up and get your fair lead on there, I put this KFI hook stopper on, and at that point you're gonna lift this back up into the machine, line up your bolts, get these back ones here done first, get those ones in, and at least then it's hanging there in the machine, and then you can work on getting these other bolts started. Once you get them all started, go ahead and torque them down, and then you're going to do these 6 bumper bolts, and then the 2 radiator grill support bolts. So that's the installation of the winch. It's not too difficult. It's very, very straightforward, I think. For the wiring, what I did, so you got the wiring that comes down from your solenoid here, and I tucked it up behind in this channel here next to the radiator, and it comes up into this channel, the grill, and around up this way. Once we get up top here, I snaked the wires around, looped them in, hooked them onto the solenoid, which I bolted to the frame, this cross member. So there's 2 screws that bolt that to that cross member. The red and black run down and go through the firewall. There's a little rubber boot there where all the wires come through. Goes through the firewall. Take the inside here. Once you're through the firewall, sorry, it's a little dark. Okay, there we go. I strapped them across with the factory harness. I gotta clean this mess up. I just added a bunch of lights. I still gotta clean up some of the wiring here, but so strapped along with the factory harness, drops down into the center console, and I strapped it right along with the factory harness all the way back to the battery. And then that. So connected them. They come out here with the wiring for to the battery, positive, negative. You know, pretty straightforward there. So that's for the battery hookup. And then as far as the control wiring, the winch comes with all the wiring harness that you need to hook up your rocker switch and a remote, wired remote. I mounted my wired remote right here on the this dash piece here. I believe it was like a 1-inch hole I drilled that comes out actually on the inside, way up high underneath the dash, and I just navigated there's one set of wires that will come back through the firewall to come up here, and it connects here on these little spade connectors. So there's a black and green there. The center spade connectors, this brown wire connects to the negative on the solenoid. And then on the other, there's another wire cable that comes off of that solenoid, or off the remote port there, that comes across. Comes from the remote port, comes across and goes to your rocker switch, which comes with the winch. Install it here next to my headlight switch. And there's also a single red wire that will get connected to the ACC power. So whenever the key is on, the winch will work. Key is off, it doesn't work. It doesn't draw any power, doesn't run. So you got to have a key in order to winch yourself out. Shouldn't be a problem. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So that's the gist of it. Just got a little bit more wiring to clean up in there, and that is it.